Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, in lieu of the Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight gonna happen on June 17th, I didn't really want to say nothing about it because you guys know how I feel about undisputed fights. It's always some shenanigans going on. Undisputed fights are just something that just don't happen, right? There's always something getting in the way, right? And you got to learn from that. So I'm really pessimistic until them dudes be walking out to the ring. You know, hey, I want to see Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence like everybody else. But the last time I see Errol Spence, his stomach was bigger than mine or yours. And, you know, you got the Keith Thurman thing, and what weight do I really think Errol Spence is going to get at 147 and stuff. And then, you know, just, you know, the negotiation problems. I'm pretty sure Terence Crawford ain't going to be wanting to accept 35% anymore, right? Seeing as all the other people, the Jose Ramirez's of the world, the Teofimo Lopez's of the world, ain't going to accept 35% from nobody, right? Watching the Usyk versus Tyson Fury negotiations fall through. So I'm pretty sure Terence Crawford ain't ready to accept nothing. I wouldn't be, you know, if it wasn't fair anymore, you know. So it's like, you know, I think that, you know, when they negotiate, it's going to have to be like, listen, dude, we both need this fight. We're both famous. We're both accomplished. You know, let's act accordingly here. And if that don't happen, that fight probably not going to happen. But who knows? Maybe it will happen on June 17th. But according to Bud Crawford, you know, it's an April Fool's joke, right? So we'll see what happens with that, right? You know, I'm hoping like everybody else. I'm just not going to be here reporting on that stuff until that's really, really something concrete, cemented, you know? And so, because I don't want to do y'all like that, and especially if I don't believe it myself. And I'm always pessimistic about undisputed fights because there's always something getting in the way because the boxing industry just doesn't like it. So, what does Terence Crawford do? I've seen an article, and they're always like this all the time with fighters. Fighters avoid the fighters. We know it's documented that the fighters are avoiding them, but then a few weeks later, they'll write an article. It's like, hey, that fighter, like for example here, Terence Crawford, he won't step up to the good guys in this division, like Virgil Ortiz. How could you mention Virgil Ortiz? When everybody knows that Virgil Ortiz avoided Terence Crawford twice. Jerron Boots Ennis, he had the opportunity to win another route. We all know that. So don't mention those anymore. Staniosis, he trying to fight Virgil Ortiz. You see what I'm saying? So don't mention that in a Terence Crawford article like he ain't trying to fight them. So that's the deal. Let me tell y'all what I think is going to happen and should happen. Terence Crawford versus Tszyu. That's the fight right there. Boom. Just going to say it, blurt it out there. Terence Crawford versus Tszyu. In the meantime, and Errol Spence could go ahead and fight Keith Thurman at about 154 to get himself, you know, acclimated to trying to get back down to 100 and anything, right? 100 and anything. Fight at 154 first, beat up Keith Thurman, get yourself back together, and then try to make Terence Crawford at 147. Or maybe you guys can fight at 147 still, maybe 149 or something like that. Let's be real. You know, one by 149, because if Terence Crawford got to fight Tszyu, he's going to probably have to go up to 154. So, you know, Errol Spence is going to be at 154 if he's lucky. And then they fight about 149, and then it's really a welterweight fight. Don't act like it can't happen. We've seen Canelo do it all the time, and Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis are doing it now. Something realistic. 147 for Errol Spence. It's a stretch. Let's be real, y'all. And Terence Crawford versus Tszyu, because Tszyu ain't going to be fighting Jermell Charlo. His injuries is going to be drawn out. Tszyu wants to fight somebody, you know, he seems like he's totally confident, and some little dude coming up to his division pushing up on him, he ain't going to like it. Like most fighters shouldn't. Right? He ain't going to like it. You trying to fight Jermell Charlo, you got to go through me first, little dude. That's what Tszyu going to be thinking, and Terence Crawford would like to make a statement. I think that's the fight to happen right about now, if we're not going to be getting the huge fights that we want. Terence Crawford versus Tszyu. That's the one to watch out for. Doma Sports Talk worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.